the review of this issue was at the highest level I've seen. And I think, again, I stand by everything we did this weekend, and I think the president keeping his promise to the American people. We removed terrorists from the country this weekend. I can't believe any media would question the president's ability to remove terrorists from this country.
You're using a 200-year-old law to circumvent due process.
An old law? Not as old as the Constitution. We still pay attention to that, don't we?
But some would say...
Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. You want to see something funny?
Whoa, that's not good.
Oh, I don't need this. I'm already late.
Somebody will come. Anybody out there?
Do you have a phone?
No. Sorry. Somebody! Hello? There are two people stuck on an escalator and we need help. Now, would somebody please do something?
Help!
I don't believe this. You gotta be kidding me.
I'm gonna cry.
Well, there's not enough left to do. That's it.
Spot on.
The funny part about that is that liberals do just want everybody to do things for them. I know, it's so That's funny. what like to do everything for them. Like they want everything to be done for them all the time. You know, and that is like how like that's an exaggeration, but that is how you guys look. When you complain about everything all the time, that's how you look. It's kind of like, yeah, you could just walk up the stairs, or you know, like, well, we need welfare, or you could just get a job. There's other options here. Well, there's not. We know what are we gonna do with that welfare? Well, you could just get a job. We had this. I mean, I swear, the amount of liberals that comment on our channel, we always have to do their research for them. They don't ever want to just do it themselves. So we have to figure that out for you. It's like that's so funny to me. But it also shows why they vote like that. Yeah, I know. Because the Democratic Party just loves to make socialism. They like to make people feel like they can't live without them. Okay, so Trump decided to defy the judge's orders and go ahead and continue with the deportation of those Venezuelan gang members. Now, I think they were already in the air, right?
And so today, President Trump is thanking the president of El Salvador. The country's leader posted this video on X showing what he said were more than 200 Tren de Aragua members arriving in El Salvador over the weekend. He says they were transferred to a terrorism confinement center for 1 year. A senior Trump administration official tells our Bill Malugin 261 illegal aliens were deported to El Salvador on Saturday. Of those, 137 were removed via the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. This wartime authority gives the president the power to deport non-citizens without a judicial hearing. The act has only been invoked 3 other times in American history. On Saturday, a federal judge ordered the Trump administration to stop the deportations to see if its invocation was legal. But the White House says 2 planes carrying alleged Venezuelan gang members were already in international airspace when the judge's ruling came down, so they argue they did not defy a court order. The president is justifying the use of the act.
These were bad people. That was a bad group of, as I say, hombres. Well, this is a time of war because Biden allowed millions of people, many of them criminals, many of them at the highest level. They emptied jails out. Other nations emptied their jails into the United States. That's an invasion.
Used to deport gang members in this instance. That is a unique use of it, and I think we could all agree with that. But this is another example of a lower court judge in our country trying to stop President Trump. If this goes to the Supreme Court, Katie, how do you expect them to rule both on the use of this act and on this bigger question of lower court judges usurping the executive authority of the president, especially when it comes to national security?
Well, it's a very good question. I think ultimately the Supreme Court will have to weigh in on this because the act has only been used a few times in the past and usually during actual times of declared war. But the language of the actual law allows the president very broad discretion to remove what they call alien enemies when there's either a declared war or some other type of incursion or invasion, typically that might be considered to be by another nation state. But in this case, Tren de Aragua does operate somewhat under the authority of the Venezuelan regime there, at least according to the administration. And so I think that the president has a good argument here, but the actual Supreme Court interpretation of this is going to likely be needed to ensure that this can be used for this particular type of purpose, because it hasn't been used against a specified group like this in the past. But I think it's a very good use of the law, frankly.
That's hilarious to me. What do you think? So what will you think he'll get in trouble for this?
No.
Yeah, I think that he's going to clear.
I don't think so.
I think he's going to clear this. He said they were already up in the air. Sorry. What's funny though is that there are actual liberals that are like the people who want these people to stay in this country. How can you be so mad at someone you don't like, President Trump, and not understand that he's just securing the country? Like, I don't understand how you can hate someone that much, so much that you would advocate for criminals. These are rapists. These are this is the hardest of the hard, right? These are the worst of the worst. But you hate Trump so much that you are advocating for these monsters. By the way that they treat them in that prison, I love it. I think I said Venezuela. It's El Salvador. My bad.
I think they do it there too.
Venezuela? Yeah, do they? Mm-hmm. That prison in El Salvador is notorious. There's a little video on that prison where it's called a super prison.
Mm-hmm. I think it's new.
Yeah,
it's
just
new. Revamped the security of it.
Anyways, I was really happy to see that. I was like, well, no, bravo to President Trump for securing our nation.
The president, through proclamation, took his authority under Alien Enemies Act and imposed it, which he has the right to do. TDA has been designated terrorist organizations. TDA is an enemy of this country. We know TDA, based on a lot of evidence, are part of the Maduro regime through the military and law enforcement. They've infiltrated them, and look, they've invaded this country to unsettle this country, through whether it's through fentanyl killing thousands of Americans or through the violence they're perpetrating in our cities. The president did the right thing. I stand by it. I thought we removed in one day over 200 dangerous people, including MS-13. It was the right thing to see. And I see the video that President Bukele put out. It was a beautiful thing. These people are going to be held accountable. We abided by the court's decision. His written order was on 5 illegal aliens. They didn't want to deport them, and we abided by that. By the time the other order came, the plane was already over international waters with a plane full of terrorists and significant public safety threats. And, to turn a plane around over international waters, we're going to refuel over international waters, come back and bring terrorists back to the United States. That's not what this president promised American people. What the president did was exactly the right thing. So the people of this country mandated President Trump deal with the border crisis, deal with illegal immigration, and deal with illegal alien crime, and that's exactly what we did. We removed terrorists. That should be a celebration. We removed terrorists from this country, and I stand by what the president did. I support 100%.
How do you determine whether somebody is a gang member? What criteria do you use?
To various investigations. A lot of the ways we do it, law enforcement sensitive. I'm not going to share all that with you, but whether through social media, through the activities, through their criminal records here and abroad. So this was done a very. The review of this issue was at the highest level I've seen, and I think, again, I stand by everything we did this weekend, and I think the president keeping his promise to the American people. We removed terrorists from the country this weekend. I can't believe any media would question the president's ability to remove terrorists from this country.
But what do you say to those who say what do you say to those who claim you're using a 200-year-old law to circumvent due process?
An old law? Not as old as the Constitution. We still pay attention to that, don't we?
But some would say
right. I don't. But they didn't mind those people being over here.
Yeah.
So I mean, so they might be mad that they're gone.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They didn't mind that they were here. I mean, they even gave them sanctuary cities to stay.
Help me understand.
They don't really seem to care about. It's just like we really dodged a bullet with Kamala Harris, because if Kamala Harris had won, those people would all be here plus more.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, if anybody, and what's funny is that, I was on Facebook again, should have done that. And I have a friend of mine that's Muslim, and not even a friend of hers, a Muslim got deported.
Deported, yeah.
And she doesn't have any real reason. She doesn't even know why she got deported, but she's like, unbelievable. And I'm just like,
well,
you don't even know why she got deported. It could be a reason for that. Just because she's wearing a Muslim hijab and, you know what I mean? And she's just, because she's Muslim and you are too, does not mean that these people aren't criminals.
A lot of these people have ties to terrorist organizations. So while that might be your friend, you know, or whatever, they could have ties to, again, unvetted.
I mean, like Carolyn Levitt said at one of the press conference, this is not Joe Biden's administration, it's Trump's. It's a different ballgame.
Yeah. And no one's used to
Father
this.
Calvin, he was in Israel, and he had a hard time getting back into America.
Did he really?
So they're tight on security.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that.
But why?
But even Trump, even Father Calvin was like, I get it. I mean, like it was hard for me to get because he was with his mom went with him,
right?
And they had a hard time leaving Israel.
Yes,
especially since the whole heightened thing with Israel and you know,
Gaza, Palestine.
Yeah, Palestine. Yeah, Palestine.
Yeah.
Anyway, not Zelensky, Palestine.
Yeah, Palestine.
But and so he said, but you know, he got back.
Yeah.
But he said, you know, I wish our country
I
wish the UK was as, you know, it was hard to get in our country, like it's hard to get back into America.
So anyway, J.D. Vance talked about that exact thing that you're talking about. Is that because you said the UK?
Yeah.
Because Father Calvin's from UK, and J.D. Vance actually talked about this.
Laura, I really believe that we have a great deal in common with Europe. And I'm not, you know, yes, the Europeans annoy me sometimes, and yes, I disagree with them on certain issues, but we have to remember that is the cradle of Western civilization. The entire idea of Christian civilization that led to the founding of the United States of America, that was formed in Europe. The cultural bonds, the religious bonds, these things are going to last beyond political disagreements, but I think Europe, and frankly, I would have said this about America a year ago, but Europe is at risk, I think, of engaging in civilizational suicide. They are unable to, or unwilling, too many countries to control their borders. You see them starting to push back against that, and good, that's a good thing. You see them starting to limit the free speech of their own citizens, even as those citizens are protesting against things like the border invasion that got Donald Trump and a number of European leaders elected. So look, I want Europe to thrive. I want them to be an important ally. Part of that is going to be Europe respecting its own people, respecting its own sovereignty, and America can't do that job for them. If you have a country like Germany, where you have another few million immigrants come in from countries that are totally culturally incompatible with Germany, then it doesn't matter what I think about Europe. Germany will have killed itself, and I hope they don't do that because I love Germany and I want Germany to thrive.
I'm just one of those people that think that Christians should run the country. Because look, our forefathers were Christians.
It's true.
They just were. Our laws are based on that. And so to me, I don't look, I get it. We have freedom of religion here, but look, the other day I was just saying that I was watching Douglas Murray, and he was saying, because you know he's from Europe, and he was saying in front of a lot of women that were Muslim, and they were wearing the full black, where you can't see anything but their eyes, and they were going on about their rights, and we should be able to have rights, and I just thought to myself, yes, but if one of you guys went into a building and committed a crime, like blow up something, we wouldn't be able to identify you because we can't see your face. And I don't want that in my country. I'm sorry. If you're going to live in America, you need to be an American, which means you take that thing off. If you don't like that, go back to Afghanistan or wherever else, Saudi Arabia, all those places where that is the law of the land, Sharia law. They like that. But when you go into a country that has the ideals of security and things like that, I don't feel comfortable with people who walk around with those things on, because all I can think is we can't identify you if a camera was looking at you.
Like JD was saying, when you overpopulate your country with illegal immigrants and all these different cultures and things, you do run the risk of it being like, you're going to just basically ruin your country, destroy your country. Because like in America, there's an American way. And like you were saying with the hijab and stuff, I don't like the idea. See, this stuff leads to Sharia law. It will lead to that. And I know that sounds extreme, but can you even believe where we're at now? I mean, we have people from other countries and also people from this country that are burning the American flag. It's like, and based off of, you know, like Free Palestine or whatever, you know, the protesters they're doing and stuff. And I'm like, this stuff can easily go off the rails.
I mean, honestly, I think you should get arrested if you burn the American flag in America.
I do too.
I don't care if you're American. If you're doing that, you need to, there needs to be some sort of law that says you're not allowed to do that.
I think John Trump on his campaign trail, he actually talked about that a little bit. It's not that he was going to implement the law, but he felt like he thinks that there should be a law that you should be able to
go live in this country and say you hate this country and then burn the flag and then you take all the benefits of living in the country at the same time. You know, it's the thing, like, even with Ilhan Omar, I have a problem with the fact that this woman went out of her way to talk about wearing her turban thing that she wears. And she went on about, this is my religion, I'm Muslim, you know. But Muslims are conservative. Super conservative. But she's not only left, she's from the far left. Right. To me, she's suspect. Right. Like, why would you be a Muslim and be for abortion, gay rights? I mean, this is not Muslim. And when we did that video on that guy that said that when he was an extremist, remember with the Vivek? It was not Vivek. Dinesh D'Souza. And he said, when I was an extremist, he was just like, we always went to the left because with the conservative side, there's more principles. It's order too. It's more order, and it's hard to manipulate. It's very hard to manipulate conservatives because they stay on focus. Most of them are Christians, and they are just like us. They care about their religion. But when you go to the left, anything goes. They don't really have any real morals. You know what I mean? They just kind of okay with life. Everything. You know what I mean? And so it is odd to me that she's Muslim. Right. And she's not only left, but she's from the far left with AOC. I don't really get that. That to me is weird and suspect, and I don't like that.
The prior president let in 21 million unvetted people coming to this country. So, of course, now we are in a state of emergency at this point, trying to get these people out of here. You know, and so when I see stuff like this, I'm like, oh yeah, go ahead and please get them on a plane and get them out of here. I'm done. And I feel the exact same way when it comes to like Kara was saying, American people who do stuff like burning the American flag, and to me, I feel like what are we doing here? It's treason, right? I mean, what are we doing here? You don't leave. So you don't. Someone who would do that to their own country is unbelievable to me.
Like, you're never gonna, when Joe Biden was president, you're never gonna hear me, who wasn't a fan of his, say I hate America. And then burn the flag because the president is in that I don't like. That doesn't make any sense at all. You know, so. I don't know. I mean, you know, Europe is a Christian country, though. It's not the freedom of religion. The monarchy, they are the head of the Church of England. So they're the head of the church. And so they are a Christian nation, which is what Father Calvin always talks about on Fox and others, that we are, him and Lawrence Fox, we are a Christian nation. So having all of these Muslims come over here and try to occupy our government, which they do have Muslims in their government now. You know what I mean? He's like, it's going to change our values. And he's right. It just is. It's going to change about it. Just like when we were watching Frank Zanu, and he was saying that there are some areas in Paris where they have sanctioned off because the Muslims want to do their own laws like they do in Afghanistan. And I'm like, well, then go to Afghanistan.
And see, that's the idea, though, is to overpopulate us, our different countries, with their way, and then you find yourself in a bind, don't you now? Because first it was American way, but how long will that be? How long will it be the actual American way when you're letting that many people flood into the country, and then you have people on the left that are advocating for those very people? Right. I mean, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So when I see these liberals and stuff out here marching for the other side and, you know, advocating for this mess that's going on, they're going to see themselves in a really bad spot if you don't stop it. If you don't stop it now. I was looking at a video. I think I have it here. I was looking at a video, and I actually think it might have went viral. But there's this guy. Here it is. I saw this video that they're burning the American flag. That's what I'm saying.
Like, these people need to be arrested.
100%.
And or deported if they are from other countries. You know, this whole idea, and you know what's funny is there's like unusual bedfellows. Is the far left in bed with Muslims. Muslims
do
who kill gay people, and they're all LGBTQ'd out, and then the way they treat women.
Yeah. What about feminists?
So then when they take over, and all you white women and black women and Hispanic women that are on the left and fighting for Palestine all have to start wearing rags on your face because they've taken over.
I just don't understand people who are against your own country. And also, why are you here? If you hate this place, so they hate this place. So if you hate this place so much, why are you here? That's the big question. I'm gonna tell you why you're here. Because every other country, pretty much, you can't do this in their country.
No.
In their country, in some countries, you get put to death for even talking bad about.
You think you're
their
going to
own
go
country.
to Saudi Arabia and start putting up a church?
No, you're not. You think you're going to go?
And we start walking around saying death to Saudi Arabia.
Good luck doing that in North Korea. Good luck.
China. Do you think you're going to do that?
You're not
No,
gonna do that.
you're not. Only in America do we allow all of these crazy. And America is funny because America and Europe always get called racist because the amount of white people are over here.
Yeah.
But they are the most open people.
I know.
Because I can guarantee you most black people agree with this.
It's true.
Because they're all left wing.
Yeah.
And if they're not voting, they still think like this. You know what I mean? And so this is just a mistake. I mean, even they're saying like in Paris, pretty soon the women that are from there are going to be walking around covered up because they're going to outnumber you because they're breeding like rabbits.
Right.
Again, they believe in polygamy. So a man can have 5 or 6 women and then make a whole bunch of babies, and they don't believe in abortion or birth control. So they're just going to keep having children. Eventually, they are going to take over, which is what's happening in Europe.
That's what I'm saying. They don't abort their babies. They populate. And so what does that say to you? How are people not connecting this? That the more that they populate in this country, the more that we are getting pushed out. And people think, oh, well, you know, it's only a few of them. It's only no. What are you saying to me? It's lots and lots and lots.
You think more of it? I mean, do you think we want to see our country being taken over by this? No. These are radicalized people. Have you seen what was last week that a bunch of radicalized people went into Trump Tower?
Yeah, I haven't.
And took first of all private property.
Yeah.
And then they get arrested. There's some outside. I'm like, these people are crazy. Like they don't even know why they're even there. Though they're just saying, oh, we hate Elon Musk. We hate Elon Musk. They were burning down Elon Musk's his charging stations, burning down cars. These people are so physically violent.
Is that you don't. You're all this is happening, but you don't want a president that gives you law and order. You don't want that. Are you sure? These people will not discriminate against you. They don't care that you're out there protesting with them. They don't care. So I'm telling you, you keep doing it, and this is what's going to happen. It's going to be a mess. I'm happy with that.
Self-hating white people.
Yeah, I know.
Who sit around here, egging this on because you don't want to feel like a bad white.
Yeah.
This is a mess.
That's a big
You know what I mean?
too.
And I don't want these people, those people and those crowds, those people that were at Trump Tower, those people that burnt BLM, those people that burned down all of what state is that?
Minnesota, yeah.
During the George Floyd riots. You know what I mean? I don't want the majority. That's the majority of their party. So I don't want that running our country. Do you don't think Kamala Harris wasn't for that? Kamala Harris was out there bailing people out who committed crimes.
There's a reason why
Donald Trump talked about it.
There's a reason why she was the border czar and never went to the border. She didn't want to
care.
She didn't care. She was turning a blind eye to the fact that they were just running through here. She didn't care about anybody's border.
Continuously telling black people that they're victims because of slavery and Jim Crow, and almost no black person in this country right at this point has experienced Jim Crow, but definitely didn't experience slavery.
No, they don't.
And they keep pumping that into the heads of black people so they can go out in the street and act like this.
Yeah,
American people do not understand what it means to live in a continent like Africa, apartheid. They don't know what it means to live in Jamaica. Remember that Haitian guy? He was like a gang member. He took over the country or the area. He's basically their president almost because he's a criminal. He's just a gang member. He took over, and we don't know what it's like to have anarchy like that. Is my point.
And that's why that brings me back to President Trump and Tom Homan doing the right thing by being hard on these people and making sure our border is tight and secure. you know. And to me, I feel like this man. Thank God he became president. Like every time I think about that election, and I know people were like holding their breath to make sure that he was going to get elected, because it was really I hate to be like this dramatic, but it was a little scary
because we know they cheat.
Because and the idea of her becoming president, really any Democrat becoming president, was really not good. It was not a good feeling. So I'm so happy that we have somebody who cares about the American people, loves America itself, stands tall with our American flag. You know, I love that we have a president that's really patriotic like that.
I mean, look how they treat like Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer decided with Trump and decided not to shut down the government because he thought that was bad for even the Democrat voters, and it is. And they're all hating him now. He should step down. And what's her name? Jasmine Crockett.
I know, I saw her.
Oh, he should step down. We need a younger, fresher AOC.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Okay. You know what I mean?
She's already about to be in hot
Now
water.
they're attacking John Fetterman.
Yeah,
because John Fetterman said that these people need to stop with this whole rhetoric of, you know, the way that they're acting. You know what I mean? We lost. They are really, the Republicans have all aspects of government right now. So we need to work with them at this point. You know, the Democrats, though, in general, have gone, like, I was watching, what's his name, Devoy? And he put out a video yesterday, was saying that, now even CNN has to say, the Democrats are at all-time low.
Yeah, their ratings. I
have to tell you, thank God.
Yeah.
That I know that.
Yeah.
That they're not that all the things that they've been doing, your Jasmine Crockett's, your, you know, Al Green's,
the propaganda, fake news,
it's not really working. Devoy made a good point when he said when he was talking about the all-time low. He said, now the one thing that I will say with the Republicans is that they have to win and they have to come through. There has to be results, and I 100% agree with that. Donald Trump has to have results. There has to. Because otherwise, you know, will. But midterms come, and then they can get the House back. You know what I mean?
And so the issue right now is that there's so much. They're trying to stop him at every stop.
Every stop.
And it's making it extremely difficult. I don't know how he's getting these things done with all of this that's being put against him right now and his administration.
And he's a heck of a president. I will say
look
that.
At this. He is. Just with this whole thing with this what is it, El Salvador, this prison situation, or what's it called, this deportation of these criminals, these gang members. Even with that, like, thank God they got them in the air.
Yeah,
because they even tried to stop that. They are trying to stop him any way they can. And like you were saying about Devoy, he is right. Trump's administration has got to get things done
by midterms,
and it is a mandate, you know, from people. Yeah, by midterms, he's got to get stuff done.
There has to be some changes. Yeah, not everything's to be done.
Yes, and all of these people who. These people who are just ridiculous and are saying, "Oh no, he hasn't gotten anything done." Well, it's been almost
54 days.
Coming up on 2 months.
It's been here. Yeah.
It's coming up on 2 months, and the fact that everyone's saying it should have been done, and you know whatever. I'm like, you guys are just. I hate using this, but you're stupid. What are you talking about? He's only been president for 2 months. The fact that Trump is against, you know, he's going up against all of that, and now we got, you know, these judges that are trying to stop him and trying to get in the way. Then you got the Democratic Party trying to stop him at every stop they can get. It's a nightmare, but somehow he is pushing through and he is getting stuff done.
Yeah, I pray for our president daily. President daily.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I know that he has a lot coming at him that we don't know about, you know, and I think that he's got a lot of strong people that are on his side around him, which is why I think he's been able to get through a lot of things, get a lot of things done. But you know, I pray that he's able to get a big change enough that when we get to midterms, that people can see something and then still want to vote right. You know what I mean? Because
that's important.
You know, just these people that are Democrats. The Democratic Party has changed 100%. Like, they are lunatics. The way that they think, the way that they believe that they should get into office. I mean, it's just everything from that. I mean, letting illegals vote. There's like two states where they allow illegals to vote.
How is that legal?
And then the other states, they just take down the IDs, and then people can vote anyway.
I mean, you know what I mean? How is that legal? It's not.
I'm just sorry. You know, I wish more Black people thought like this and wanted to save the country. But I just think that who's going to save the country are going to be Christian white men. Yeah. And it's just the truth. I don't know. I mean,
the reason why that is, though,
the majority
is the reason why that is, though, is because of the reason of the Frank Zanu video we did. Because white people were the ones who created this, the layout, the blueprint of what America is today. They created that. So it's going to take the creator of that.
Yeah. Like, again, I went on my Facebook page
to fix it.
I went on my Facebook page. I told you I don't go on Facebook too often.
That's bad.
But I went on, and it's amazing to me that everybody that I know on my page, and I do mean everybody with the exception of 2 people, they are all crazy Democrats. Like, they believe they are gone. And I'm just thinking, I have quite a few people on my Facebook page, you know, and I'm just thinking it is just amazing to me that these people have no idea what they're talking about, and they don't have any idea what they're saying and what's going to come from, what's going to manifest from their ideas.
Yeah.
No, I can't wait to look. I know I can't wait, but I'm just saying, can you imagine these feminists being taken over by a Muslim religion like they are in UK right now, and then all these feminists have to now wear things on their head? Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
And it's just so, that's what I'm saying. It's just so interesting to me how the left thinks. It's like, you guys believe in like LGBTQ, feminism, Black Lives Matter, and then Muslim people do not like gays. They're not interested in that. And they certainly don't like feminist women.
They're very,
and they don't, you know what I mean? They don't like that. So I don't understand.
They're very open about their hatred for gay people.
Right.
Yet the left embraces.
Yeah. And they definitely don't want a feminist woman.
No.
And so that the left is all about that. And somehow they're like, you know, they're like pumping their fist up for a religion. They hate Christianity. That's another thing. It's like most of the left hates Christianity, but they love Muslims.
It's really weird.
There's more
it's really weird.
There's more freedom in Christianity. You would think that. But it's just so interesting how they think. Like, they will literally be for anything just to fight.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't want people like that with that kind of chaos in their mind running this country ever.
And our president did the right thing, and I'm glad that he did it.
Yeah.
You know, I am glad that he did it, because that's 200, you know, terrorists. I'm sorry, calling what they are, terrorists, out of the country. Imagine that in one day. Tell us what you think, you guys. Leave in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts on all this, and we'll see you next video.